Hey everybody, it's Erin Reed, and today we are going to turn this giant envelope, this giant craft envelope, into a junk book. So let's get started. So I have this massive, it's a 12 by 12 craft envelope. It actually functions as a large envelope. And Canvas Core has given us a challenge to do something with it. So I figured I could cut this lengthwise, and there's a flap here and a flap here, and we're going to kind of turn that into little pockets for this junk book. So we're going to open and we're going to cut into 3 strips that are 4 inches wide. And I pulled out my guillotine because I really wanted a good quality cut going on it. Now I'm going to come in with the next one, the exact same thing, cut it to be 4 inches, and the last one will also be 4 inches. So now I've got kind of the beginning of the inside pages of my book. And then we're going to fold this. So it becomes a folded piece just like that. So this becomes a couple of pages inside my book now. And I'm trying to decide if I'm debating, and this maybe I'll do it so it's a pocket that opens this way. And so I can glue this down and create a pocket that opens that direction. And that way I can do it for all of them. Now this one is completely an open flap. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to fold all these in half. So that was kind of a fun challenge, something a little different than your normal, here's a piece of paper. It's using an envelope. I'm thinking differently. You could do a scrapbook page with this. You could do all kinds of stuff. But I was leaning towards, I haven't made like a fun junk journal or a fun just inspiration book or a mini book in a long time. So that's where I was going with it. All right. I then have these 2 sheets of kind of chipboard paper, is lack of a better term. I don't even know where. I think they came as kind of like an insert inside of something. And we're using this as the front and back cover and kind of like the binding for the book. So the length of the book, or the width of the book, is 4 inches. The length of the book, if you're putting it up, is 6 inches. So that is how wide I want my cover to be. Maybe just a titch bit bigger. So instead of going to 6, I'm going to go to 6 1/4. And this is why I pulled out the guillotine, so I could get a really good cut. And I'm going to go to 4 1/4 for one cover of the book, and then 4 1/4 for the other cover, which actually was perfect. So I didn't have to worry about cutting that. So now my book has a front cover that's just a little bit bigger, not by much, just a little bit, which I am fine with. And then I have 3 inserts that are going in here. So here's 3 inserts. I have a front and a back cover. And then I just need to make my spine. And then I'm going to give this about 1.5 inches. And this is going to be the spine. All right, to assemble the base of my book, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a bunch of washi tape. I just love this washi tape. It's so pretty. It just says hello, hello. It's a whole bunch of little things. And what you're going to do is you're going to line your book with the washi tape, giving a little bit of a gap so it has a chance to kind of move and groove. So I'm going to lay it down kind of exactly where I want to, just like that. And then lay my washi tape right down. Come in on the other side and do the same thing. Make sure it's lined up just a little bit of a gap, so that way your book can fold. Okay, I'm going to flip these over. And make sure it's still nicely aligned. It got a little bit off here. This is where you can adjust it. And as always, you can go down in the links and you can find where I got most of these pieces. I really truly don't know where I got these chipboard pieces. I like to save a lot of fun things just kind of in my stash. So that's where this got pulled out of, is my, ooh, that item looks cool. I'm going to keep that until I know what to do with it. So I probably had this piece of board for a while, waiting to do something with it. All right, I'm folding over the washi tape, just kind of fitting it in there. And then I'm going to do the same thing but go the other direction. And I'm not too worried about the fact that it's going to get, you're not going to see the letters. I really want to give this a nice good binding, so that's why I'm doubling it up, going in both directions. So filling it in, going that way, and then we'll flip it over and finish it going the other direction. So now we have the beginnings of our book right here. It's really easy. So it's created like that back spine. So now these pages can rest inside of here, just like that. So it creates a fun little book. Really simple. And then we're going to use a twine binding system to hold this all in place. Let me grab the twine. So I've had this and I absolutely love it. And you're going to need quite a bit of twine to do this binding method. And this is going to be part 1, just assembling the book. Part 2 is going to come tomorrow. So that way you guys can see what's coming. So I love that this is already on kind of like a spinner. It's kind of fun. Just having a problem trying to get it to spin for me. Keeps getting caught. It's kind of a neat idea though. There we go. Now, if you wanted to do something special to each of these pages, meaning you wanted to paint these, color these, put some sort of, mist them, do something more fancy to each of these pages, go for it. But I'm just going to add things to the pages. So if I'm going to do any coloring or misting or painting, I'm going to do it on something else and then attach it to this. Because with the spine that I've made and only having 3, well, if you want to think about it, there's 6 pages in here, I've got a lot of room to kind of make big chunky things in here, which is where I wanted to make a book that could fit something bigger. All right, so the first stage is you're going to take your paper and you're going to take your twine, and basically you're just going to go kind of in the middle, and I probably go way too much, but that's okay, and lay it down. We're just going to do 1 page at a time for right now. Lay it down, and you're going to kind of wind it around a few times. You're creating the binding for this basically. So I'm just going to go around twice. I think that's going to give it enough stability. And then you just come in the back here and you tie it off, and it gives it something. And I'm just doing an X, and I grabbed way too much twine. So my next rounds I'm not, but I probably will use this baker's twine within the book as decorative piece just to kind of tie it all together and to give more interest. This is where I really need somebody's finger to come in and hold the knot for me so it makes it tight. And that's the first one. So now I have a book. So within my book, and I'm just going to cut these off. I already have a page that's set, and I can shift this all the way to one side now, right there. And the next 2 are going to go in line from then on out. So I'm not going to grab near as much twine, but let me show you the second one real fast. So I'm opening my book up, laying my next piece in where my fold is. And oh, here's the other thing you want to think of. Think about where, and I completely screwed that up. No, this is the one where it's actually, okay, so this page that's in here is one where it's open all the way through. So if I wanted to, at this point, and I think I'm going to come in and I'm going to seal off a section of this. So I'm going to come in with my little baby Xyron, just because it's nice and small, it can get in there. And I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive going all the way across the bottom here. Actually, I can open that up. Oh, forgot about that. Go all the way across here, and then I'm going to seal it. And that way it completely seals the bottom of this. And I'm going to go ahead and seal my flaps on the sides too. Because now I have a pocket that's in the top of my book. So I can come back in my book and I can slide this in. And this is the other fun thing. So if I'm doing the pages, and let's say you want to assemble your entire book and you realize, no, I really want to color that page, or I really want to add some stencil work to that page, I can easily slide this out, work on it, and then as long as I don't put anything too bulky on here, I can slide it right back in because I didn't make the twine too terribly tight. So now I have a page in here that's got a little folder or a little pocket that's facing up, which is kind of fun. I might change it up on some of these other books. So let's do other pages. This next page, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to seal this direction just for this side of the book. So now I have a pocket on the side. This pocket is going to be, actually I'm going to change that. We're going to have this one, no, we're going to have it. So I keep changing my mind. I have that right. So for this page, I'm going to have one pocket that comes from the top, and I'm going to have one pocket that comes from the side. So the first one, they were both from the top. The last one, I'm going to have them come both from the side. So again, find the middle of your twine, your nice long twine. You can use rope, you could use twine. Gosh, there's so many fun things that you can use with this. You could use a fancy ribbon. I personally like the twine. To me, that's kind of the fun look. And I'm just wrapping it. everything is getting wrapped. So on the inside, if you're looking, you actually have 3 because you started in the middle. You're going to have 3 that come in, and then you tie it off in the back. And so the back side has a little bit more actually. And tie your knot. I still grabbed too much twine. Just doing a simple overhand square knot, nothing fancy. I'm holding my finger down to keep the tension, to keep it nice and tight, and then coming in and tying the knot, and then cutting off the excess. So there is my second page, or my third and fourth page, or however you want to look at it. Shift this over a little bit. So that way you can have that. And I can always pull these pages out, and let's say I want to cover or color this entire book. You know, what if I don't want to see that washi tape that I have on there? You could also use painter's tape for this, or regular tape, or masking tape for the edges if you didn't want to use a washi. But you know, washi tape is great for this, and it's one more use for what you can do with washi tape. Okay, for this book, I'm going to open it up, and I'm going to seal all the way along the top here. Keep holding my little tape, my Xyron tape runner the other way around. Alright, so come in and seal. And so now this book has a pocket that I can open this way. This book has a pocket I can open this way. And I will clean this up so I don't see that. And I'm going to put the tape part that I taped facing downward. Come into my book again, open it up. And this is going to go on the end space now. So I got to grab some more twine. Not as much as last time. But again, like I said, I'll be using some of it. It's not like I don't have enough on this little spool. This thing is huge. It's great. It says it's got 50 yards on it. That's crazy. But it's great. I mean, I love that I have a ton of it. I don't have to worry about that. Oh, I didn't have enough, or I ran out. That's why I grabbed this spool, because I knew I had enough of this one color. So pink and white are obviously going to be a color theme for this little book. All right, so coming in here, flip. Probably still grab too much twine. I try not to, and I still end up doing it. Go figure. Okay, and so then I'm going on the inside, my last round, flip it over. And the cool thing about the knots is you can shift them so that they create kind of a decorative piece. You could even come in at this point if you wanted to. I don't think I'm going to do this. It's kind of late now. Is you could add a little charm right here. And so on the back binding, you have some cute little charms that you can attach to the back. I just didn't have the forethought until just now to think about that you could do that. Look, I still grabbed way too much twine. All right, so there's that. My last little binding. There's that cut off, and a ton of twine that I can use for future books. And then now I have my book centered. It fits quite nicely. I've got a nice big spine to fit all the pages. That gives me room to kind of add and to junk it up per se. It will eventually come stay a little bit more closed. So this is part 1. This was just the assembly of how to create a book from a large envelope, from some extra chipboard scrap pieces that are left over from big sheets, using washi tape, and then also using the twine method for your binding to create a fun book. If you wanted to have more pages in your book, you could easily just use scrapbook paper and do long strips and not worry about the pockets. And you could add, because you're just folding it in half, you could add a ton of different pages in your book. This allows you to have so many pages. And if your book gets bigger, all you have to do is extend the width of your spine. So I did 1.5 inches and it fits these 6 pages wonderfully. But you could have a book that's easily 2, 2.5, 3 inches wide, still the same size of pages. You just are increasing the width of your spine. And that way it allows you to put more stuff inside your book. But I didn't want to go too overboard with this one. So thanks so much for stopping by and checking out part 1, how to assemble a junk book with a baker's twine spine. And come back tomorrow and you will see me assembling and putting fun things inside this, adding all kinds of cool mixed media. Links are down below for all the supplies that I can find where I can use it, for the envelope, for the twine, and for the washi tape. I definitely have links for that, and for the cutter. And please subscribe, and I'll see you guys again soon. Bye-bye.